The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, man oh man, do we have a good matchup for you on hand as we are going to rewind the clock back to 2012 and revisit this kind of sort of rivalry between NL Central division opponents as the 2012 Pittsburgh Pirates take on the 2012 Cincinnati Reds. Who will come on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out because game one is coming up very, very shortly here. In fact, game one is coming up next. But first, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses the finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce. Then load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who was responsible as a tree. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for service you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. Yeah, we're just sitting and ready to go for game one of this episode of Rivalry Night, featuring this battle of this NL Central, a very heated NL Central rivalry between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds as we revisit their rivalry from 2012. Your starting pitching matchups for game one is as follows. Johnny Cueto will go for Cincinnati, while AJ Burnett will go for Pittsburgh. With that being said, your lineups are out on screen, and without further delay, Johnny Cueto says he's ready to go, and so is Alex Presley. Let's play ball for Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We'll begin with a 2-5-6. That is Workman pitcher on Cueto. No. Sad sack on Presley. No. That is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Cueto has flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for Neil Walker off of the men on base chart. And again, the pawns dictate who is the current batter, so that way you guys at home can follow along easily. We go to the men on base chart. With a 26, home run king, it's home run. Neil Walker is not a home run king, so therefore it will be a contact result of, and I usually roll the red die for my contact chart results. We have a 2, sad sack. Neil Walker is not a sad sack. The Pittsburgh Pirates are going to get on the board early here in this one, as it is 1-0 in favor of the Buccos. As the Pirates have scored 1 in their half of the first. Now the Reds have a chance to score in their half of the first, as it is Pirates 1 and the Reds are coming to bat. 1-4-6. Ace or dynamic on Burnett? No. Sad sack on Cozart. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. AJ Burnett does have control. Yes, decider die was not used. So yes. So it will be a no runs result, as that 1 will be reduced to a big fat goose egg, and it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to seal the deal for this first inning here at Great American Ballpark. The score is Pittsburgh 1 and Cincinnati 0. 4-5-6. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Cueto, again, we're playing it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. This is for the top half of the second. We have a fresh pitcher on the mound in Cueto, so no. The pitcher is still fresh. Hero batter on McCutchen. He's a semi-hero. The decider die says he is. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. McCutchen is a neutral runner, so that's the Pirates will have the bases loaded for Garrett Jones off the men on base chart. 23. Eager grounds out. Garrett Jones is a semi-eager batter. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that will be a ground out to get out of a bases loaded jam for Johnny Cueto. We head to the bottom half of the second with the score: Pittsburgh Pirates 1 and the Cincinnati Reds 0. 3-3-6. Workman on Burnett? No. Sad sack on Stubbs? No. That's going to be an RBI question mark chance. And of course, the decider die says, yes, sir, there will be an RBI. So it's a tie game, courtesy of Drew Stubbs, as he gets the Reds on the board here in the second inning at Great American Ballpark, with this, as we are all dead even at 1 through 2 innings of play. 2-3-5. Here we are. Star pitcher on Cueto. Yes, sir, he is a star. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that will seal up the deal for the first 2.5 innings of this one. The score remains deadlocked at 1 apiece between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. 4-5-6 on Votto. First, we ask Burnett, Is he not fresh? Well, again, I'm playing it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. So therefore, we ask, is Joey Votto a champion batter? He is a semi-champion batter. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Joey Votto is a neutral runner. So therefore, that is going to put runners on second and third for Brandon Phillips off the men on base chart. 36. Active batter gets runners advanced 2 bases single plus a stolen base. Unfortunately, Brandon Phillips is not an active batter, an active runner. So therefore, that is going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die from my contact chart results. We have a 1. Okay, so first things first, we're going to look for a whiffer versus a flash pitcher. We have a flash pitcher, but Brandon Phillips is not a whiffer. So therefore, the Reds are going to add on another run. It's 2-1 Cincinnati after 3 innings of play here in Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Three, four, six. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Johnny Cueto is semi-fresh now. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. And Pedro Alvarez is a stoic runner, so that 3 will be reduced to a 2, putting him on at second base for the catcher, Rod Barajas, off the men on base chart. 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. And this time, Johnny Cueto bounces back after allowing Alvarez to reach second. He will get the ground out to end things here in the top half of the 4th, with your score remaining Reds 2 and the Pirates 1. One, two, three. Workman or struggler on Burnett? No. Champ on Bruce. He's not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to seal up the deal for the first 4 innings of Game 1 here in this episode of Rivalry Night. The score remains 2-1 in favor of the 2012 Cincinnati Reds. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher for Cueto. No. Champ on Barmas. No. That is going to be 1-3-4. A no runs result of a 3 blank. And that will smell the end of the top half of the 5th inning here for the Pirates. The score remains 2-1 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. 1-3-6. Ace on Burnett. No. Hero on Ludwig. No. That is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. However, the black die is not a 6, but Ludwig has semi home run king, and it looks like, let me just double check here. Ace, no. Hero, no. So yes, decider die was not used, and unfortunately, Ryan Ludwig does not have home run king. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 6 blank, and that will do it for the first 5 innings of this one. It's a really tight pitching duel here in Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Your score is Reds 2, Pirates 1. Four, five, five. 4-5-5. Here we are. Workman pitcher on Cueto. No. Utility on Presley. He's a semi-utility. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that'll be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that is going to do it for the top half of the 6th here at Great American Ballpark. The score remains Reds 2, Pirates 1 in a really tight pitching duel between A.J. Burnett and Johnny Cueto. 3-3-5. Struggler on Burnett. No. Champ on Roland. He's not a champ. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that is going to do it for the first 6 innings of this one. And at the end of 6 innings, the score remains 2-1 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher on Cueto. No. Champ on Walker. Excuse me. Walker is not a champion. So therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank. We head to the stretch here at Great American Ballpark. The score is Reds 2, Pirates 1. 1-2-6 as we resume play here in the bottom half of the 7th. Struggler or Gilded on Burnett. He is neither. Hero on Hannigan. He's a semi-hero. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that is going to be 1-2-6. A no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Hannigan does not have a home run king or slugger. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 7 innings of play. The score remains 2-1 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. 1-5-6. Ace on Cueto. No. Sad sack on McCutchen. No, sir. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Cueto has flash. So that one is going to be reduced to a big fat goose egg, and it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to be all she wrote. 1-5-6. Ace, no sense. No. Yes, -1 for the black die flash, so I played that correctly. So it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and we go to the bottom half of the 8th. A.J. Burnett is still kicking and reeling and dealing as the Pirates and Reds are trying to preserve their pens. The score remains 2-1 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, we're past the freshest innings, so he is not fresh. So it will be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Cozart is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for Drew Stubbs off the men on base chart. We have a 46. Same reliever gets the strikeout. And again, when we say same, it's righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. Since we have a righty versus righty matchup, A.J. Burnett will get the strikeout to end things here in the bottom half of the 8th. Last call for the Buccos. It's Reds 2, Pirates 1 as we head to the 9th inning. 2-2-6 on Jones. Yes, here we are. Ace pitcher on Cueto. No. Utility on Garrett Jones. No way. That is going to be a RBI question mark check. Oh, but the decider die says no. The 6 was right there, but the decider die says no. That could have given the Pirates the lead, but instead it will be a no runs result of a 2 dot, and that is going to be your final score, folks. Johnny Cueto goes the distance. He throws a complete game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Your final score is Reds 2, Pirates 1. And we're coming at you live from PNC Park for Game 2 of this Rivalry Night series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates as we relive their rivalry from 2012. With that being said, your starting pitching matchup for Game 2 is as follows. Brad Lincoln will be on the mound for Pittsburgh, while Matt Latos will be on the mound for Cincinnati. Your current batter for the Reds is Joey Votto, and your current batter going into Game 2 is Casey McGee for the Pirates. With that being said, Votto is all set and ready to go, and so are we. Lincoln says he's ready to go, and let's get to it from Pittsburgh for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We'll begin with the 2-3-5. Star pitcher on Lincoln, no. Satsack on Votto, no, sir. That is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Lincoln has has full flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting the runners on at the corners for Brandon Phillips off the men on base chart. We have an 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team dissonant. And again, we're not taking advantage of which team is harmonious or dissonant and whatnot. So every team throughout this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour is on a neutral playing field. So therefore, it will be a ground out to end things here in the top half of the first. It's Reds nothing, and the Pirates are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. 1-5-5. That is ace, ace pitcher for Latos. No. Hero batter on McGee. No. That is going to be a no runs result of a of a 5 dot, and that is going to do it for the first inning of play. After 1 inning of play, the score remains a big fat goose egg between the Pirates and the Reds. One, two, three. Workman or struggler on Lincoln? No. Champ on Bruce. Bruce is not a champion, so therefore that is going to be yet another no runs result of a 2 dots, and that will do things here for the top half of the second. We go to the bottom half of the inning with no score. 1-4-4. Yes, 1-4-4. Struggler on Latos. No. Satsack on Alvarez. He's not a Satsack, so therefore that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Matt Latos has semi-control. The decider die was not used, and it seems Latos does not have control. So that 4 is going to remain still and put with runners at the corners for Michael McHenry, the catcher, for this ball game. And he will take his hacks off the men on base charts. Oh my word. 15. Scrapper hits double. Michael McHenry is not a scrapper. Therefore, he's going to hit one high, hit one far, and out of the stadium and into possibly the Allegheny for a 3-0 lead for the Buccos over the Cincinnati Reds, as the Pirates lead it off of a 3-run home run by Michael McHenry of a score of 3-0 after 2 innings of play. Three, 3-5. Struggler on Lincoln, no. Champ on Ludwig, no. No runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to put things to bed for the first 2.5 innings of this one. Your score is Pirates 3, Reds nothing. Excuse me. 2-2-5. Ace pitcher on Latos, no. Hero batter on Barmas, no. That's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 3 innings of this ball game, your score is 3-0 in favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 166. Ace on Lincoln. He's a semi-ace. The decider die says he is. That is going to be a no-runs result of a 6 dot, and that will do it for the first 3.5 innings of this one. Your score remains 3-0 in favor of the 2012 Pittsburgh Pirates. 123. Workman or Struggler on Latos? No. Champ on Starling Marte? No. That is going to be a 1, 2, 3. Here we are. Workman or Struggler on Latos? No. Champion on Marte? No. So it'll be a no-runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to seal up the deal for the first 4 innings of this ball game for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night, with the score Pirates 3, Reds 0. 346. Let's see here. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh on Lincoln. Well, again, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. Everyone is on a neutral playing field. So therefore, according to the decider die, Brad Lincoln is not fresh. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment for Ryan Hannigan. He's a stoic runner. That 4 will be reduced to a 3. Will place the runner safely on at first and second. They're not going to go putting the chips all in yet. Not quite yet. So we go on to Zach Cozart's turn for the men on base chart with a 22. Batting at home, no, the Reds are the visitors in Game 2. So therefore, it will be a flyout to end the top half of the 5th here at PNC Park. Your score is Pirates 3, Reds 0. We have a 236. Struggler or Gilded on Latos? No. Sad sack on Neil Walker? No way. When is Neil Walker ever a sad sack? So therefore, that will be an RBI question mark check, and it looks like. Let me just make sure here. 236. Struggler Gilded? No. Sad sack? No. So the decider die was not used. The Buccos are going to add on another run, courtesy of an RBI from Neil Walker. It's now Pittsburgh Pirates 4 and the Cincinnati Reds 0. 116. Struggler on Lincoln? No. Utility on Stubbs? He is a utility batter, so therefore that is going to be a no-runs result of a 1 blank, and that will do it for the first 5.5 innings of this one. Your score is Pirates 4, Reds 0. 166. Ace on Latos? No. Sad sack on Kutch? He's not a sad sack, so therefore that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. McCutchen is a neutral runner. Therefore, the bases are loaded, and we do see that bullpen going for the Reds just in case if things turn out really troublesome here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. We go to the men on base chart for Garrett Jones. We have a 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Oh, Joey Votto is not gold. Therefore, that is going to be an earned run on an error. So it's 5-0 now. Station to station. We go to the next batter in the order, and that is going to be Casey McGee off the men on base chart. 55. Batting team dissonant or pitching team harmony? Again, every team is being treated neutral throughout this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. So therefore, it will be a single, allowing the runner on third to score and the runner on second to score. So it is now a 7-0 lead for the Buccos, and the runner on first is going to third. It's first and third, as we do see that manager for the Reds pop out of that dugout, and he is not wasting any chances. He is going to go to that pen, as Matt Latos is really in trouble right now. He's not going to take any other chances. We are going to go back to the main chart after we take this really quick timeout. And we are back as we have a new pitcher on the mound for Cincinnati, as Logan Ondrusek will be the new pitcher for the Reds. And for this at bat against Brandon Phillips, we will have Ondrusek get the full extent use of the star quality. We will head things back to the main chart, and there, of course, if we get a men on base result, all the runners currently on base will score no matter what. So therefore, let's roll on with the score. Pirates 7, Reds nothing, as we continue the bottom half of the 6th inning. 2-5-6. Workman pitcher on Ondrusek. No. Sad sack on Alvarez. No. That is going to be a men on base result, and 2 runs are going to come across to score. So therefore, that is going to clear the bases. And we will have a new men on base situation with -1 for the black die if flash. Ondrusek has semi-flash, and the decider die says he does have it. So therefore, that is going to put the runner on its on at first base, I should say, as it is now Pirates 9, Reds nothing here at PNC Park. We go back to the men on base chart for Michael McHenry with a 56. Patient batter draws the walk. Absolutely not. That'll be a contact result of a 5, and that is going to prompt a champion look for McHenry. He's not a champion, so therefore, that is going to be a pop-out to end things here in the 6th inning. And man, oh man, the Pittsburgh Pirates are hanging on and not looking back, folks. The score is Pirates 9, Reds nothing, and we do see we keep going with Brad Lincoln as he makes his way back out to the mound to face off against Brandon Phillips. Two, 4-4. Ace pitcher on Lincoln. He's a semi-ace. The decider die says he's not. Utility on Phillips. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. And it looks like Lincoln has control. So instead of a 2, it'll be a 1, as Phillips will trot down to first base with Jay Bruce coming up to bat off the men on base chart. We have a 44. Wild pitcher. No, Lincoln is not wild. So therefore, that is going to be a flyout. And folks, Lincoln is through 7 innings of shutout baseball, as the score remains Pittsburgh 9, Cincinnati nothing, as we head to the stretch here at PNC Park. Two, 4-6. Star pitching on Ondrusek. He has semi-star. The decider die says he does. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 dot. And that is going to seal up the deal for this first 7 innings of Game 2. Your score is Pirates 9, Reds nothing. 2-6-6. Star pitcher. So far, Lincoln is pitching like a star, but unfortunately, he does not have a star printed out on his card. Champ on Ludwig. He's not a champ, so therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Ryan Ludwig has semi-home run king. However, the decider die says no. So therefore, the shutout remains intact. It'll be a no runs result of a 6 blank, and that is going to take us to the bottom half of the 8th. The score is Pirates 9, Reds nothing. Three, five, six. Workman on Andrusek. No. Champ on Marte. No. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Starling Marte has semi-slugger. The black die is a 6, but the decider die says nah. Starling Marte is therefore going to get a no runs result of a 3. There we are. 3 blank, and that will seal the deal for the first 8 innings of this one. Last call for the Redlegs. Your score is Pirates 9, Reds 2. Reds nothing. Brad Lincoln trots back out there to the mound, hopefully to save the bullpen for another day. 246, excuse me. That is going to be star pitching. Oh, Lincoln's not a star. Champ on Frazier. He's not a champ, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Todd Frazier has slugger, but no home run king. I know, man, oh man. Folks, Brad Lincoln is going to be your winning pitcher here, as it will be a no runs result of a 6 blank. Man, oh man, Brad Lincoln has pitched a complete game shutout over the Cincinnati Reds in game 2 of this 3-game set for Rivalry Night. As we look forward to bringing this series back to Great American Ballpark for game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Your final score is Pirates 9, Reds nothing off the Brad Lincoln complete game shutout. It's a winner-take-all game as the Reds and Pirates each have won a game in this Rivalry Night series. And who will be the one to take home that winner-take-all Game 3 win? We'll find out right now. Your starting pitching matchup for Game 3 is going to be Homer Bailey for Cincinnati and James McDonald for Pittsburgh. With that being said, Neil Walker will lead things off for the Buccos. As Bailey says he's ready to go, so is Walker. Let's do it from Great American Ballpark for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. 256. Now we're officially underway. Workman pitcher on Bailey. No. Sad sack on Walker. No. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Bailey has full flash. So that 6 will be reduced to a 5. And that'll put the runners on at second and third for Andrew McCutchen off the men on base chart. We have an 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team to sonnet. Again, everyone is being treated as neutral. So therefore, it will be a groundout to end the top half of the first here at Great American Ballpark. Your score is Pirates nothing, and the Reds are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. .355. Star pitcher on McDonald. No. 355. Champ on Mesoraco, the catcher for today's ball game. He's not a champ, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank, and that will seal the deal for the first inning here at Great American Ballpark. The score after 1 inning of play is a big bat goose egg. .266. Star pitcher on Bailey. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank. And that will do it for the first 1.5 innings of play here at Great American Ballpark. The score is a big fat goose egg between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. 236. Struggler or Gilded on McDonald? No. 236. Here we are. Satsack on Kozart? No. That's going to be an RBI check, and it looks like the decider die says no way. If that would have been a dot, the black die was a 6, and according to the rules of History Maker Baseball Express, if there happened to be an RBI question mark result, and if there was a 6 showing up, and the decider die says yes, in this case dot, I usually go dot as yes, blank as no. It would not have been 1 RBI, but it would have been 2 RBIs for the Cincinnati Reds. But in this case here, it's not. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And that will do things or wrap things up here for the first 2 innings. And after 2 innings of play, we have no score. "236. Struggler or Gilded on Bailey? No. Satsack on McGee? No. 236. So that's going to be another RBI check. And this time, the decider die says no. This game is going to remain scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the third. It'll be a no runs result of a 3 dot. And we head to the bottom of the third with no score between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. 556. 556. Here we are. Star pitcher on McDonald? No. Hero batter on Stubbs? No. That's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. Garrett Stubbs is a semi-slugger. However, the decider die says, nah, we're keeping this game scoreless. So it'll be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to wrap things up for the first period here for this game. The first 3 innings, of course, the score is a big fat goose egg between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. 334. Star pitcher on Bailey. He's a semi-star. Excuse me. The decider die says he is not. Utility on Alvarez. He's not a utility batter. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Bailey has control, so that 4 is going to be reduced to a 3. That'll put the runners safely on at first and second for right now for the Pirates. And we continue to roll on for Michael McKendry's turn off the men on base chart with a 15. Scrapper hits double. Michael McKendry is not a scrapper. That is going to be hit high, far, and gone. The Pirates, courtesy of Michael McKendry, hit another 3-run home run. That is a 2-game home run streak for Michael McKendry as he gives the Pirates an all-important 3-0 lead here in Cincinnati. But again, no lead is safe when you're at Great American Ballpark. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. The score is Pirates 3, Reds nothing. "445. Workman on McDonald? No. Utility on Votto? No way. When has Joey Votto ever a utility batter? So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash or control. And it looks like McDonald has flash, but he does not have control. So that is going to place the runners on at first and second for Brandon Phillips off the men on base chart. 56. Patient batter draws the walk. Brandon Phillips is not patient, so therefore it's going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact chart results. We have a 5. Champ on Phillips. He's not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a pop out to keep that goose egg on the board for the Redlegs. The score after 4 innings of play is Pirates 3, Reds nothing. One four six. 146. Here we are. Acer Dynamic on Bailey. No. Satsack on Barmas. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. And it looks like Bailey has control. So that 6 will be reduced to a 5. 146. Yes, it's only control. So it'll be reduced to a 5, putting runners on at second and third for Starling Marte. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart of a 22. Batting at home, no, Pittsburgh is the visitors for game 3. So therefore, it'll be a flyout to end things here in the top half of the 5th. The score remains Pittsburgh Pirates 3 and the Cincinnati Reds nothing. Three, 4, 6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the semi-freshness innings, and McDonald says he's not fresh. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. The bases are loaded because Jay Bruce is a neutral runner, and that'll bring up Ryan Ludwig off the men on base chart. 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. This time, McDonald bounces back with a ground out as he is fresh, according to the decider die. Therefore, the Reds threaten but do not score. It's still Pirates 3, Reds nothing after 5 innings of play. One, 4, 6. Acer Dynamic on Bailey. He is not. Satsack on Neil Walker. No, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Bailey has control, so that 4 is going to be reduced to a 3. And that will place the runners on it first and second safely for Andrew McCutchen as he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. 22. Batting at home, once again, no, the Pittsburgh Pirates are the visiting team for game 3, so therefore, that'll be a flyout to end things here in the top half of the 6th. The score is Pirates 3, Reds nothing. One, 2, 5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, McDonald, we're still in the semi-freshest innings. And of course, McDonald says he's still fresh. Do we have a champion batter on Frazier? We do not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to seal up the deal for the first 6 innings of this one. Your score is Pirates 3, Reds nothing. And we do see a new pitcher coming in from the pen coming from the pen to the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. We will find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. It seems that Jonathan Broxton will be the new pitcher for the Redlegs as he will take his turn against Garrett Jones. And for this at-bat against Jones, he will have the full extent use of the double flash quality. With that being said, Pittsburgh leads the Redlegs here in Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night by the score of 3-0 as we resume play here in the top half of the 7th inning. 2, 3, 4. That's going to be pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Broxton is the bullpen arm, so he is fresh for the remainder of the game. Satsack on Jones. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. And it looks like Jonathan Broxton has double control. So that 3 is going to be reduced to a 1. And that's going to put Jones on it. Jones on at first for Casey McGee off the men on base chart. We have an 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team dissonant. Well, again, everyone is being treated as neutral, so therefore it will be a ground out to end things here for the top half of the 7th. And we go to the stretch here at Great American Ballpark. And while these fine patrons here in Cincinnati sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," along with a rousing rendition of "God Bless America," we will see a new pitcher coming in for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we will find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And these beautiful, fine patrons here at Great American Ballpark have sang a good, rousing rendition of "God Bless America," along with a beautiful chorus of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And we have a new pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as Jason Grilli will continue to throw here for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as he has the star, double flash, and semi-control qualities. For this at-bat against Devin Mesoraco, he will have the full extent use of the control quality. With that being said, the score remains 3-0 in favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-4-5. As we resume play here with a check if Grilli is a struggler pitcher. He's not. Satsack on Mesoraco. No. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Grilli has double flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 3. And we said that Grilli would get the full control quality for this at bat against Mesoraco. So therefore, with the double flash, that 5 will be reduced to a 3. And from that 3, Grilli has control, will be reduced to a 2. So Mesoraco is going to go to second base for Zach Cozart. And we will roll off the men on base chart for Zach Cozart's plate appearance with a 23. Eager grounds out. Zach Cozart is a semi-eager batter. The decider die says he's not. Therefore, it's going to put runners on first and second for Drew Stubbs off the men on base chart. 26. Home run king, it's home run. Drew Stubbs is not a home run king, so therefore it will be a contact result. And it will be a 6. Oh, it's going to be a ground out. So the shutout remains intact for the Pittsburgh Pirates as we continue play into the 8th inning. After 7 innings of play, your score remains 3-0 in favor of the 2012 Pittsburgh Pirates. One, 2, 6 on Alvarez. I think he. Give me one quick second while I figure out if Alvarez took his at-bat. Timeout. And after further review, Alvarez did not bat, so therefore we will keep this roll of a 1, 2, 6 with Struggler or Gilded on Broxton. No. Hero on Alvarez. No. That's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Alvarez has semi-home run king. The decider die says he does not. So therefore, that is going to be all she wrote for the top half of the 8th with a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that is going to do it for the first 7.5 innings here in this ball game. The score is still remains Pittsburgh Pirates 3, Cincinnati Reds nothing. 336. 336. Here we are. Workman pitcher on Grilli. No. Satsack on Votto. No. Therefore, it's going to be another RBI check, and unfortunately, the decider die says no. Therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to seal up the deal for the first 8 innings of this ball game. We head to the 9th inning with the score: Pirates 3, Reds nothing. 455. 455. Workman pitcher on Broxton. No. 455. Here we are. Utility batter on McHenry. He's a semi-utility. The decider die says he's not. Therefore, it's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. And it looks like Jonathan Broxton has flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4. And also, Broxton has double control, so that 4 will be reduced to a 2. And we'll place the runner on its second base for Clint Barmas off the men on base chart. 44. Wild pitcher allows the walk. Broxton is not wild, so therefore it's going to be a flyout, and that is going to do it for the top half of the ninth. Last call for the Redlegs in the bottom half. The Pirates are on the verge of back-to-back on the verge of a back-to-back shutouts. Let's see if they can get it. We head to the bottom of the ninth with the score: Pirates 3, Reds nothing. One, 2, 5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Grilly is the bullpen arm for the Pirates, so he is considered fresh. Champ on Phillips. No, that is going to be a no runs result, and that will be your ball game. The score, it will be a no runs result of a 1 blank. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, decider die was not used. So again, Grilly was fresh. Yes, it will be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And folks, that is going to be your ball game. The final score here in Cincinnati as the Pirates take this Rivalry Night series 2-1. And the Pirates salvage back-to-back shutouts in games 2 and 3. One a complete game shutout, and the other one a full team shutout of the Cincinnati Reds. Your final score here for game 3 is Pirates 3 and the Cincinnati Reds nothing. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, as we featured an NL Central clash between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. It seems we ran out of time for today, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man, we are going to rewind the clock all the way back to 1968, as we are going to have the main event of all main events as the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Detroit Tigers. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross-Era Showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.